Hello, everyone. I would like to continue talking about some Hey Arnold episodes. This episode about Harold fighting Patty in an arm wrestling contest. The episode begins with Harold defeating Stinky and Sid at the same time in arm wrestling. They congratulated him and they believed that Harold was most likely to win the upcoming arm wrestling tournament that was coming up. Patty shows up wondering what's going on with her friend, and Harold told her that he's entering the arm wrestling tournament. Patty tells Harold that she's also entering the tournament. The other kids convinced the two to do a battle right now. Confident, Harold didn't hesitate, but the moment the match begins, Patty beats him in a second and without even trying. This got the entire cafeteria, but mostly Sid and Stinky, laughing at Harold for losing to a girl. The laughing eventually turns to mocks and ridicule from the two people who are supposed to be his closest friends, as they continually to insult Harold's identity of being a man if a girl can beat him in a physical sport. Arnold decides to help Harold train, but after Harold defeated everybody in the boarding house who could arm wrestle, Harold thought he was more than ready to fight against Patty again, despite it only being one day of training with Arnold. Patty, who wanted to check on Harold, since she didn't mean to humiliate him, is forced to arm wrestle Harold again when Harold begins to make fun of her to feel better about himself. And once again, she beats him the same way as Harold is mobbed for losing. This time, the mocking from Sid and Stinky got so bad as they brandish female products to him, and Harold goes to Patty and begs her to let him defeat her, or the mocking from his friends won't stop. Patty told Harold that she won't let him defeat her, but she would train him so he can be a better arm wrestler, and he might learn something from it. We learned that Patty does the kind of training that seems more about focusing your mind while ignoring the other things that are distractions. When they were done, Harold tells Patty that he thinks that he can defeat her now. This got Patty to question if he learned anything from their training, but Harold only stated the stuff that he was doing. Patty tells Harold that the real lesson to all this is that he shouldn't be embarrassed that he lost to a girl who clearly had trained more harder than himself to be good at something, and that he should be embarrassed for being a bad friend as she left him to ponder her words. The next day, the tournament begins, and we see Harold and Patty defeating the competition with one another, struggling through their opponents a bit until Harold apologized to Patty, telling her that he now understands what she was trying to teach him. He tells her that he doesn't mind losing to a girl, especially if it's someone like her, which made her happy to hear. As the two began arm wrestling, with both giving them to fight everything they had. At the end, Patty wins, and Harold shows that he did really learn his lesson. As Harold proudly watches as Patty gets the trophy for winning, Sid and Sticky, who still thinks it's funny that Harold lost to a girl, continues to make fun of him. And Harold decides to yell at them and proclaim that he's proud to lose to a girl like Patty, and anybody got a problem with it, he will beat them up, as he finally got the two to shut up when he knocked them down. The episode ends as Harold walks off with Patty as they go see a movie that Patty wanted to see. My final thoughts on the episode is that Sid and Stinky are truly one of the worst people to have as friends. These two are supposed to be Harold's best friends, but they both show that they're willing to turn on him when it matters most. Making fun of Harold for losing a girl is all about the idea that boys should be better at girls, at things that people consider a physical sport. Times are changing, and it's great that Patty had to be the one to tell Harold that he shouldn't feel embarrassed by being beaten by a girl. There are plenty of women who train in sports and who could do it better than boys. The men need to toss this viewpoint that women shouldn't be part of sports. Patty got the build and the strength that most girls don't have. That's not me mocking her. This is just facts. The other boys who would challenge her will have suffered defeat just as easily. I like how she does this training, as it at least shows us what she does when she's not hanging around with others. That she has a life outside of school that most kids don't know about. Too bad the lesson in this episode, Harold will be able to recover his mindset a bit. It's reminding Sid and Stinky that if Harold is a wolf for losing to a girl, then what does that make them who have to work together in arm wrestling, but both could barely do anything against Harold? They're just lame. That is all. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more.